Hello everyone, and welcome to our session today on getting the most from your Innovia support team. And joining us today is Desiree Gigear from Innovia Consulting, and we're excited to have such a fantastic turnout. Before I pass it over to Des to cover on this hot topic, I would like to remind you that we are recording this session and it will be posted to our on-demand webinar library later this week for you to review and share with anyone. And if you do have any questions, please feel free to type them into the questions box and we will get them answered during our Q&A time at the end of our session. So now I will pass it on to Des to kick off our presentation.
All right, thank you, Angie. Hello, everybody, and thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to talk about how to get the most from your Innovia support team. My name is Desiree Gigear. I'm a senior application consultant here with Innovia, and I've got 17 years of Microsoft Dynamics background, 15 of which are NAV, 2 of which are AX, and I've played almost every role possible from implementation consultant, project manager, account manager, pre-sales. I've even worked with some of the ISVs. What I'm most passionate about though is NAV, and more specifically, the areas in and around inventory and warehouse management. That's where my wheelhouse resides, and that's where I like working in the most. But with 15 years of NAV experience, you're going to know a lot about a lot of the application. Today I'm going to review with you, and I'm going to go over an introduction of our support team, how to submit a support ticket. It might sound trivial, but there are a lot of different ways you can get us your support tasks. I'm going to review some ticket types, and then I'm going to include details to include with most of your submissions, how you can help save costs, and then we'll have a Q&A session at the end where you can present any question that you might have. So, introducing the Innovia Support MVPs. This is our entire team, and we've got anywhere from developers, tech consultants, and you all know Valerie. She is a developer as well as an application consultant, and then our 3 application consultants. Holly Cudel is our team lead, and I'm sure you all have already been introduced to her, but yeah, we've got a very nice, well-rounded team, and we are adding to our team regularly. We're recognizing the additions of our new customers, recognizing the additional demand from our customers for our support staff, and so we continue to meet your demand by adding new resources to our team. So how do I get a support ticket into Innovia? Not sure if you knew it, we have a dedicated support telephone number. If you visit innovia.com, there is a telephone number in the upper left-hand corner. That's not our support line. So we do have a dedicated telephone number that reaches directly into the team of people that I just showed you pictures of. I've presented the information here for you. If you take anything from the screen, take the telephone number. But I do have a handout in the handouts section of our webinar that you should be able to just click on and download, and it will have this information and some tips and tricks for you as well. But we have a 24/7 hotline. So during regular business hours, typically between the hours of 8 a.m. Eastern time to 7 p.m. Eastern time, we have coverage at this 855 telephone number. We do ask that if you have an emergency situation, that you give us a call. It's likely the quickest way to reach one of us, especially since we're there most of the time. If it is after hours or over the weekend, we do have an answering service that answers that particular telephone number as well. So if you should call, you'll get our service. And then we typically will have up to 2 people, generally 2 people at any given time who are identified to be on call during after hours, during the week, or over the weekends. So that answering service will be able to reach out to one of us directly. They actually have all of our cell phone numbers, so they'll just go around the room until they find somebody. Obviously, there's the email, support@innovia.com. Everybody knows how to use that one. There's innovia.com, our website, and there's a couple of different ways that you can submit a ticket. This comes in specifically handy when you might be on the road, maybe one of your resources gives you a shout, who do I contact, what do I do, I need help, and you might be on the road and unavailable. If you go to innovia.com, upper left-hand corner, and just click support at Innovia, you'll create an email. You can also initiate Skype chat. And then all the way on the right-hand side, number 3, that's where you can submit a support ticket directly to Innovia. It'll give you a little web page to fill out your name, your contact information, brief description, upload any details related to your support ticket. We also have a customer support portal. It's giving our customers the ability to submit and manage and update your tickets. You can see your currently open tickets. You can see your historical closed tickets. Let's say if you've got another issue that popped up. I know I had this issue at this time last year. How did we address it? Let me go back into history and kind of take a look at what we did. You can do that. And for anybody who might not either know about that or have access to that, I'm happy to grant you access. If you can use our webinar and enter in the question box, giving me your company name, your contact information, and most importantly, your email information, and I'll make sure that I send you a customer support portal invitation, and that'll give you immediate access to that website. All right. So what happens when I create a ticket? Well, immediately you're going to receive an automated email that gets sent out to the email address that submitted the sender gets an immediate confirmation email. We've all seen that before. Anybody, any online support system will send that immediate confirmation. Those emails, once it hits our system, appears on our dispatch board, and our team lead, Holly Cudel, also receives a copy of that. And she will assign the tickets to a resource. And once it's assigned to a resource, you should receive a secondary human written email and or phone call. Just depends on what the nature of your submission is. If it warrants a phone call, maybe it's an emergency situation, we usually will pick up that phone or an email to set up a time to do a screen share and take a look at what's going on. In the lower left-hand corner, I've given you kind of a sample of what that automated email confirmation appears like when you initially send in your ticket. What you should expect after submitting that ticket is every Innovia team member, we all show up every morning ready to amaze. Each one of us believes that our customer's success is our success. So we're here to make sure you're successful as our customer and our partner. And NAV and Business Central is our passion. We all love what we do. We come to work ready and fully capable and able to work with you. And we look forward to it. It's why we're here. Typically, your support is immediate. You should have somebody to work with within a few hours of your ticket submission. Most tickets begin with a 4-hour budget, unless you have agreed upon a different threshold with your onboarding process. On average, our tickets will take anywhere from 2 to 4 hours to resolve. There's always exceptions to that rule. Some a lot quicker, some might take a little bit longer. Anything over 4 hours is going to require an approval. So that'll be accompanied with a design doc. We're going to talk about budgetary numbers. We're going to talk about what it's going to take and due dates, associated due dates and such. And then another key feature topic to understand is we do bill in 15-minute increments. So anytime you submit a ticket, understand that typically it's going to be a billable task, and the minimal billable increment is 15 minutes. Sprinkling in a couple of fun details here, but I'm sure we've all felt like this poor fellow calling support after we shoot the computer. So let's talk ticket types. And the reason why I want to cover ticket types is this is going to really, it drives how we address tickets and what kind of information we would be looking for from you to send in with those tickets. So two major differences. Again, there's always the exception to the rule, but generally speaking, we've got a break fix. It's a problem. It's causing stoppage of business. I can't post, I can't ship, I can't invoice, can't cut checks. Maybe it's a customer facing issue. I can't email something. My customer can't get to the website. Again, a reminder, if it's an urgent matter, call us. We want to hear from you. Might be a new functionality request. Does it cause, usually doesn't cause stoppage of business. Might be adding fields, adding tables, pages, adding a new process. Maybe a new process is being implemented. Maybe you're implementing a new ISV or a new functional area, or it's a new payroll calculation. So those are the two ticket types. I'm going to kind of break into each one, each type, break fixes. What kind of information do we want to see, or do we kind of look for when you send in a break fix? First and foremost, let's discuss the urgency. I want to know the due date. It's going to help us with prioritization. If you've got a system down situation, obviously that's going to take precedence over, anything else. And, we don't treat anybody differently. So whoever you are, whatever customer, if you've got a system down, that will be our priority. But determining the urgency, it's going to help us determine where it's going to fall in our workday. Do you have a due date? And it doesn't even have to be an emergency, but maybe you've got an ASN that needs to be sent out, or a shipment date that I've got to satisfy. I got to send it out before midnight tonight, otherwise Walmart's going to charge me $500. Those are details that we're really going to want to know right away. Other necessary details. If it's a system down, which system? I already talked about websites. Is it the test? Is it the live? Are you in the midst of a migration going from one version to another? Is it the new version? Is it the old version? Those are details we want to know. Are you getting any errors related to the system down, or which system? Do we have access to that system? Is it hosted? Do we have all the information we need? If we don't have access to it, who do we contact to gain access to that system? So in the old days, typically we'd have access to your system directly. Recent years, we're seeing several systems being hosted by other companies, and we may have to reach out to these other organizations to gain access to your system. And we may need your help with that too. We may need your approval, your facilitation, etc. But the quicker we can get this information, the quicker we can get on to fixing the problem. Who's our main point of contact? We need a name and a contact information. I have a lot of your contact details in our system, but maybe an end user is the one with the problem and I don't have their contact information. It's a lot easier for you to just say, hey, Des, it's okay, go ahead and reach out to Jennifer. Here's her email address, here's her phone number. You can contact her directly. Because if I don't have her listed as a contact in our system, typically I am going to reach out to you and confirm that it's okay for me to reach out to that person. Troubleshooting steps that you might have already taken. So I don't want to avoid any duplication of effort, and I want to be able to really focus in on the problem at hand. So have you taken any troubleshooting steps? If so, what are they? Provide a list of tasks, steps, system checks. Can you export any of that to Excel? Screenshots. Do you have screenshots? Include a screenshot of an error. Not only that, give me a breadcrumb path, page, the nav page and or area that's being accessed. What button did you click? Do you have an order number? Are there any special conditions? I get this error when I enter an order for this type of a customer or for just this customer. What do I do? Do you have any filters set? Is it a predefined filtered view on a page? So we're going to want to know that. Who's impacted? Who or what is impacted, really? Is it a website? Is it a specific user? Is it just one location that's experiencing the issue? Specific users, specific locations? Do they log in differently? So I can think of, sometimes we have remote staff. They use Citrix or remote desktop to access our system. It seems to only be affecting those users. These are really important details that's going to help us with our troubleshooting tasks. When did the issue begin? What might have changed since the issue started? Did you do any system updates? Did you have an IT company out there editing your infrastructure? Maybe moving servers? Do you have a new employee? Do you have a new location? New record type? We changed customer types. We just implemented dimensions. Those kinds of things. So this is all really good information to include when submitting a break fix. I think one of the most important is the steps to replicate the issue, though. And I'm going to talk about this a little bit in a couple more slides too, but not only including screenshots, but also include the specific keystrokes. Let's face it, nav, I can customize my view. My view might be different than your view. I may have a different role center that's assigned to the user that's encountering the problem. So not only a screenshot and a breadcrumb path, but maybe a step-by-step, step one, click here, step two, click on this button on this tab after I do this action. So again, are there any filters? But the best, absolutely best scenario for us is when you can recreate the problem in a test environment. You know, when you create or send us a screenshot, the steps to recreate it. But not only that, I can go to your test environment and you've queued it up for me. I can go right into that test environment. I can jump in and start debugging and really narrow my search and find a resolution quicker. Yeah, I think we get the idea. Provide as many examples as possible. Something that you might not think about though is, are there workarounds? Have your users created specific workarounds, a problem in the system? Sometimes when we know what kind of workaround has been implemented, it might shed some light on the source of the problem. So, important details to know about break fix issues. When we cannot recreate the issue, and this is generally speaking, they are inherently more time consuming and therefore a little bit more costly. So troubleshooting typically would occur in your production environment. It's not the best case scenario. That's why I spent a lot of time on the previous slide. It's nice to be able to recreate that issue in a test environment, but let's face it, sometimes it can't be. So some of the reasons why it's a little more time consuming when it's only in your production environment is I may have to do my troubleshooting after hours or wait till we have a break or a lunch break. But typically it's after hours and or over a weekend or debug while everybody's in the system, or I might have to reboot or bring some servers down, and that's costly for you. So ways you can help, can you help identify specific conditions that exist? Are there any patterns or trends in the data? The timing of when the issue started or exposed itself, and what might have changed. All right. So if this is not the wave of the future, I don't know what is. The next generation is going to be so technical savvy that it's not funny. But anyway. All right, new functionality requests. A lot of times they're very easy, simple requests, but if we can add some background information to our requests, it will help us. It might help us help you. So are there any company initiatives that are driving the request? Is there a process that's broken? When we can understand the driving force behind the request or understand the big picture, this is going to help us in how we might proceed or approach the issue. Maybe we've got an alternative approach. Maybe we know of an ISV. Maybe we know that of a modification that was already done for one of our other customers and it might apply here. Ultimately, offering a less expensive solution for you in the long run. Can you identify your success criteria? We'll want to keep your success criteria in mind and at the forefront of all of our conversations. That way it keeps the effort focused. Did you do a cost analysis? What would it cost your business if we didn't do the mod? Really just trying to get to is the juice worth the squeeze. Can you define the current state versus the future state? So really what I'm getting at here is, do you have a clear picture of what that future state is? If not, let us help you envision it, but let's do it before we lift the hood and start making edits to your system. Also, never assume we know the details. Oh, come on, you guys implemented us. You know, we've got this mod over here and this mod over here. You know, I don't ever want to assume anything. So let's work together and let's make sure that we know your goal in terms of a future state. Even the smallest detail can make a difference on the direction that we take for your overall resolution or final solution. Generate a test plan. I can generate a test plan for you, but my test plan might look similar to the design of the modification that I might be working on. And that can be a little one-sided. You, on the other hand, know all of the business cases and know of your 20% rule. I might know your 80%, but you know your 20%. And those are the details that we want to make sure that we test before we roll it out to your production environment. So let's create a test plan together. And really, all of this sums up to all of our upfront analysis, lays the foundation for the overall effort. More time that we spend together doing the analysis and the work that we do up front is going to be time saved on the back end, you know, rolling something out. Oh, wait, it affected some other area of the system, roll it back out, you know, edit it somewhat, and then give it another try. So we're just trying to help you get to your success quicker and easier. Overall savings on support costs. Well, provide as much detail as possible. I do want to point out again, if you've logged in a little bit late, I have a handout identified here in the webinar. There's a little icon deal that has handouts. You should be able to click on that and download it. It gives you not only the 5 different ways you could submit a support ticket to us, but you it also gives you just a cheat sheet in terms of tips and tricks of, what should I include with any of my submissions. As much detail you can give me as possible is best. Other details on cost savings: prevent stalling or inactivity. Hey, we all get busy. You get busy, I get busy, everybody gets busy. But if I've given you something to test, I'm really hoping that you can find time to get it tested. So let's make sure that we're not allowing these tickets to stall. Maybe if it's a busy season for you, you might want to hold off if it's a new feature. Might want to hold off on sending something to us until you've got a little bit more time. Avoid direct reach outs. Now, in my attachment or my handout, I did give you everybody's email address and office phone line. And that's for emergencies, or if you just wanted to call us and say, hey, how you doing? We just love the work you're doing. Or if you need immediate help also. But overall, if you can avoid direct reach outs when you are having a problem, one of us might be out of the office, on vacation, at a customer site, on the road, and you're really going to want that new issue to be sent through our triage process. That's the quickest way to get a resource assigned to your ticket. I know everybody loves working with Valerie, or fill in your favorite support person's name here, but 9 times out of 10, sending it in through the normal means of ticket submission is going to get you a quicker response from our support team. Also, self-help. I'm a big proponent in self-help, so know where to find help. If you're not sure where to find help or where to go to first, is this a break fix? Is it a new mod? Do I need a new ISV? Or where's my first stop? I don't know where to start. Contact your account manager. Most of our account managers are well versed in nav and can actually, field frontline or, tier 1 level support questions. So reach out to them. Not only that, they're free. Like I said earlier, you submit something to support at Innovia, it's initiating a service for which we charge at 15-minute increments. So if you have a question on where to start, that's what your account managers are there for. Innovia has webinars just like we're in today. Or you can request, I've got it misspelled there, but request some NAV or Business Central training. We're happy to help. We love it. We love working with NAV and you. So we want to help out in any way possible. msdn.microsoft.com. These are the formerly known as help documents for NAV. It is a little bit outdated. Microsoft is no longer updating it, but I'd say about 90% of that information out there is still accurate. Join NAVUG. There's chapter meetings, there's annual meetings, there's summits, training events, webinars, conferences. You can rub elbows with other NAV users that are in your exact situation. How do I do this, or where do I go to do that? And there's people there that can tell you what they've done. And obviously customer source as well. It has e-learning opportunities, user manuals, white papers, etc. If you need help on any of these details, let me know, let your account manager know, and we can help you find resources on any of those. Not quite to the question and answer session yet, but suggestions. If you have suggestions for our team, if there's something that we're not living up to in terms of your expectations, we are continuous process improvement. We believe in it. We know that we wouldn't even exist without you, our customers. We want to hear from you. If you've got a suggestion, we'll take it. So again, our customer success is our success. It's what we strive for. We all come to work every day wanting to provide, top-notch service for you. we're here for you. We wouldn't be here without you. So the many ways that you can save money is submitting a lot of as much supporting information as you possibly can with your tickets, and then understanding the ticket types and what to include associated to each of those ticket types. And then remember, there's always a way to find help. So there's many ways to get a news ticket opened with Innovia, as well as outside self-help opportunities as well. Now we're to the question and answer session. I did receive, I think everybody had the opportunity to send in some preliminary Q&A. I did receive a few questions. So here are my responses to those questions. Hope they were the answers that you were looking for. Yes, that was supposed to be funny.
Thank you, Des. If anyone has any additional questions that you would like to have Des address, please feel free to type those into the questions box and we will get them answered. Or if it's more lengthy and you would like to contact us one-on-one, please do so, and we would be happy to discuss your technical issues that you have going on right now. All right. Well, again, thank you everyone for attending, and thank you, Des, for the presentation. It was very informative. We appreciate that.
You're very welcome. Thanks for the opportunity.
And just to let you know, we do have more webinars coming soon. Next Tuesday, June 25th, we have Valerie Ingersoll from Innovia Consulting, and she's going to be presenting on how to use change logs in Business Central. And then on Wednesday, June 26th, we have Ross Botarf from Innovia Consulting, and he will be presenting on converting C-AL objects to AL using Windows PowerShell scripts. I don't know what that means, so I will find out along with the rest of you if you are unsure at that time. And don't forget to check out our website for more of our upcoming events, and that's innovia.com/events. And we also want to mention that we have our new podcast going on. If you haven't already heard about it, it's called the Innovia Conversation. And you can find all the different podcast platforms to listen to on our podcast page. And that's innovia.com/podcast. I think we've got a wide variety of different podcasts that Steve and Jeff have been doing the past couple of months, and they have special guests on it, so check that out. It's not very long. I think the longest one was about maybe 20-ish minutes possibly, but they're very entertaining and very informative. So check out the podcast selection and subscribe so that you can get notified on when we have new podcast episodes. All right, so thank you again for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you again soon on another Innovia webinar. Have a great day, everyone.